the Dallas Cowboys did not win and did not reach the NFC Championship game because of fill in the blank. What do you got for me?
Oh, man. I think they wore down in the second half. I mean, we could start with Dak. I mean, Dak throwing 2 picks. You got Mr. Irrelevant, you've got Dak, and, fill in the blanks. Who's the guy who makes 2 big mistakes? I mean, we've been waiting for Purdy to have this multiple interception game, and it hasn't happened. And he's not spectacular. He didn't play spectacular yesterday, but what he did is he made the throws he had to make, and he avoided making those big mistakes. And Dak made those big mistakes. And then a ball game on the road against a really elite defense like that, where both scores are going to be in the teens. These are enormous plays, and one of them being backed up, the whole thing. And then Diggs didn't pick the ball off in the red zone. You had to count on Dallas creating turnovers,
right?
And they didn't do that. So they turned the ball over. They didn't create turnovers. They missed their opportunities. And then I think on a short week, they wore down in the second half. I read a tweet at 8:43 p.m. that Dallas had them, they were 13 carries for 28 yards, the Niners were. I mean, getting the run game going was tough sledding. But once they did in the second half, it was 71 yards rushing. So, Monday night game on the road, then they got to go all the way out to the West Coast. I think eventually it jumped on their back. And, Dak not just throwing 2 picks, and he almost hit Greenlaw for a pick 6 late in the game.
That's right.
It's just – and coming in this game, I said it's Dak played really, really well against the Bucs defense. It was not that good, okay? And the week before, he had maybe the worst game of his career. It's the inconsistency. And it's the inconsistency of this team. And when Pollard went out, it just changed the game. And so I think there's a whole host of reasons that you could point to, but you got to be wondering if everything's on the table for Jerry.
Well,
everything.
Let's talk about that. What is the everything? Because I said earlier, I mean, that means coach or quarterback, if not both. The coach, Sean Payton, is sitting there on Fox. He's standing there. He's talking to everybody. Yeah. He's available. You'd have to cough up a 1 to New Orleans. I don't know if New Orleans would make Dallas cough up more than that for him, but you'd have to cough up a 1 for him. And then he's got to tell you what he thinks of Dak. But Dak's not going to go anywhere to begin with. If you draft a quarterback, I'll give you the floor on what you do if you're Jerry.
So I don't know. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I mean, we speculated a little bit. I know Dak, there's a big hit next year, so I don't know the logistics of moving him. But if I were Jerry, and I want to win a championship, I'm not getting any younger. I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying, we have literally seen every iteration of this Dak kind of era. And it all ends kind of the same way, right? It ends in the playoffs, early exit, or they're disappointing. And so, I can't point to that offense and say there was a ton of stuff that Dak didn't have that he needed. I mean, I was on my show this morning with Kyle, my brother, talking about how good a job Tyron Smith did on Nick Bosa. Mm-hmm. They got the best player blocked. You've got multiple playmakers on offense. Obviously, Pollard goes out with an injury, but these mistakes have nothing to do with that. And I'm just not sure. Kellen Moore, you talk about him like he's, a head coaching candidate one day. He's this mastermind. Well, they've got that. They've got this coach that's won a Super Bowl. They have, their franchise quarterback in place, and it all just seems to end in the same place. So I would hit the reset button. That's just me. And I know some people don't like that word because there's a whole lot of ways you can go with it. But I think it's time to see what else is out there.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.